Hello everyone, Alex here, and welcome back to another video. So today, I decided to run a little experiment on my chickens to see what sort of food they like the most. I had a few different examples such as different types of grain and fruit, and leftovers just to see which ones were their favorite. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy this one, so let's get into it. Right, so before I get too far ahead of myself, I should probably explain how this is going to work. So we're starting off with two different types of grains. We've got their normal chicken grain mix, as well as some goat sweet mix, which is of course for the goats. But the chickens seem to like it too. The way we're going to count this up is we're going to let out one chicken at a time, and see which food they go towards first. Then we're going to count it up in a tally after letting out a few different chickens, and see which one they all go towards most. Starting off first, we have Muffin. She's young and she makes up her mind pretty quickly and goes over towards the sweet grain mix for the goats. The reason why I mentioned that she's young is because the older chickens seem to take longer to make up their mind. I'm not really sure why that is, but either way, what I do know is that that's 1 point towards the sweet mix for the goats. Next up we have Blueberry, and she's a little bit older, and as you can clearly see, she has a bit of a harder time making up her mind. But eventually, after having a dilemma between the sweet grain mix and the regular chicken food, she chooses the sweet grain mix as it is tastier in her opinion. So proving my point of the older chickens being slower, this is probably the oldest one that we tested today, and she took a really long time to figure out whether she even wanted to choose the food or not. But once she did, with a little help, she instantly chose the sweet grain mix because that clearly seems to be a tastier option. So, it looks like the sweet grain mix won by a landslide, and let's move over to the next category now. Real quick, if you guys are enjoying this video, make sure you press that like and subscribe button for more awesome content like this. Anyways, let's get back to the video. Now we're going to be testing grapes versus apples, using the same deal as before, so let's get started. This time we have Blueberry going first, who immediately goes towards the wrong direction underneath the, what table or whatever that thing is. Eventually, she decides that she wants to be part of the experiment again, and she goes towards the grapes. Next up, we have the Brahma, which, yes, is her actual name. Don't question it. Interestingly, despite being the same age as Blueberry, she makes up her mind rather quickly, and goes straight for the grapes, which is another point for them. I'm actually starting to notice a bit of a pattern here. Chickens really like grapes. I was actually expecting them to be all over the apples, not the grapes, so this came as a bit of a surprise to me, but I guess you learn something new every day. I shouldn't be making final conclusions yet though, as we still have another chicken to test on, so let's get to that. Next up we have Abalone, who is one of the oldest chickens that we have. Would you look at that, she actually went for the apples. Maybe I was more right than I thought I was. Nope, I thought something was off, so I put her back and had her go again, and she went right for the grapes. So now I'm just kind of confused on what she likes, so I'm just going to try another chicken. Like I said, old chickens struggle to make up their mind. Next up we have Muffin, who pretty quickly goes right to the grape bowl, grabs a grape, and goes right to the apple bowl. It's almost like she's trying to trick me or something. I don't know, she's a funny chicken. But that is definitely a point to the grapes, so I guess the chickens really do like grapes after all. Now we'll be trying watermelon versus grapes, so let's get started. And yet again, we have Muffin, who went right for the grapes before running off and being annoying. Eventually I gave up and let out another chicken. Next I let out Alana, who happens to be one of the oldest chickens that we have. Despite that, she made up her mind rather quickly and went right for the watermelon. Eventually, I decided to spice things up a bit and let out our first rooster of the day, Little Buddy, who pretty quickly went to the grapes, probably because it was the closest thing. Then I decided to let out some more chickens who also went right for the grapes, leaving Alana by herself to enjoy the watermelon. So, as a whole, the chickens definitely prefer the grapes, though Alana seemed to really like the watermelon. So it seems like the grapes still seem to be more of a crowd pleaser over the watermelon. The next two options were turkey and this grain-based bread. Definitely a bit of a weird combo to go together, but it just happened to be what I grabbed, so we're gonna roll with it. Anyways, letting out the first chicken, we have Muffin, who instantly went right for the bread, so that's a point for it. Next, we have Cosmo, who also went right for the bread, Then while trying to get another chicken, unfortunately Little Buddy slipped out and he went also for the bread. The reason why I say unfortunately is because the next chicken was Mary, who's scared of Little Buddy, and she went right for the turkey. I don't know if that's because she liked turkey or if because she was scared of Little Buddy, but that definitely could have thrown off results. I'm still going to count it though, as it's interesting. Eventually I let all the chickens out and they all went right for the bread before eventually making their way over towards the turkey. So the bread clearly won by quite a good amount, so now we know. Our next combo are Ritz crackers and these snacking salted pretzels. I first let out Lucy, who couldn't seem to make up her mind. I didn't end up counting her for anything in this one because she just followed where all the other chickens went, but I let out Little Buddy and he went right for the Ritz crackers, so that's a point for them. Letting out all the chickens, I noticed that they all went right for the Ritz crackers and none of them really touched the pretzels. In fact, once they finished the Ritz crackers, they really left the pretzels alone for the most part, so I did give them to the goats. Next up, I ended up trying some old leftover pizza and some wheat thins, and I ended up throwing in a grape leaf just for fun. The two chickens that were already out went right for the pizza and grape leaf and didn't really touch the wheat thins. Once I let out all the chickens, they all also demolished the pizza, as the grape leaf was already gone by that point. And the wheat thins were left mostly untouched. I ended up having to compost those as the goats didn't really like them either. And with that, we've already reached the end of this video. If you guys enjoyed this one, make sure you subscribe and press that like button, and I hope you guys have something delicious to eat today. Anyways, I'll see you guys next month.